because right here we have 34 adult American alligators, obviously most of them right over here on basking in the sun. Now, these large animals are very impressive, but they are nowhere near as large as their ancient ancestors. One example is 80 million years ago, there was an animal called Deinosuchus. Deinosuchus, think about some of our alligators there. Over there, Deinosuchus was 40 feet long and weighed around 20,000 pounds. So some of our large alligators, especially some of those large ones right over there, take about 4 of those and tack on a bunch of weight. That's as long as Deinosuchus was. And the name Deinosuchus translates to terrible crocodile. That's because Deinosuchus was not a dinosaur, it's what ate the dinosaurs. And scientists who were studying dinosaurs found Deinosuchus, so they gave it the name terrible crocodile. Well, because you would probably name something like that too if the animal you found was eating your favorite animals. Now, alligators like Deinosuchus have been around that long as well, maintaining around a similar appearance, but don't let this primitive look of these animals go ahead and make you think that these animals are far from intelligent. Alligators are very intelligent. So, alligators have what we call a true cerebral cortex, and that part is associated with the brain with higher thought and learning. So, they are learning and adapting to their environment. They're not acting instinctually. Now, here with wild alligators, even ones this big, you really don't have much to worry about. A wild alligator, for the most part, is going to go ahead and run away. A captive alligator, kind of what we have in this situation right here, as you can see with some of my friends, our 2 friends, Blue and Casey right here, that obviously they're sitting, waiting up. Obviously, Casey's sitting here thinking if I'm going to give him any sort of food right there. Lauren, do you want to? And it's my first time as well as I am the pellet carrier, but Lauren here is well versed in the arts of working with these animals. She can go ahead and show you off those nice big heads. This was not something you would want a wild alligator to do. Wild alligators, for the most part, are going to be going, they're going to be running away from you. Now here in a captive situation, and it sounds kind of funny as what we're doing right now, this is far more dangerous. That's because these animals kind of end up associating us with food just because we do this work with them. But this work that we're doing is training. So each of these animals, like the animals that Lauren's working with right here, they have their individual names. Like I said, that's Casey right there. So they know their names. As I said, these are very smart animals, and this helps us to train and work with them extremely well. Now, what Lauren had right there, asking these animals to open up their mouths, as well as asking some of them maybe to walk over, show their tails, these are all natural behaviors that these animals know already. So this in turn helps us check up on them and help them participate in their own veterinary care. If we got Casey coming over like we asked for him to open up his mouth, he can show us his teeth, everything inside, and we can make sure everything is good to go. It's a lot less stressful on them, and it's a lot less stressful on us. Now, these animals as well, even though I was just talking about veterinary care, they are very, very hardy individuals. If you see some of them just going up over there, kind of lying down, you might see some scars or scratches on some of our individuals here, and that's because during the springtime, in the mating season, they tend to fight. But don't fear not, these animals are able to bounce back extremely, extremely well. And after a few weeks, those scars that they have, those white scars, are honestly all but gone. Now, with some of our bigger individuals, I'm going to go over here on the island to show you, right over here on this bridge, you can see some of our really, really large alligators that I have right over here. Now, with their size, might correlate into age. You might think that, oh, obviously, this might be a big alligator, it must be an old alligator. Well, our biggest alligator is actually sitting right over there in front of that sign. That's Bomber. Of course, as I say his name, he starts sinking under the water, but that's okay. Now, like I said though, just because he's the biggest does not mean he's the oldest gator. So, with any of these individuals, they may be older, in fact. So size is a determinant for age, but to tell you the truth, I don't know how old any of these animals are in here. They could be in their 30s, they could as well be in their 80s. Alligators, just like us, the 70 to 80 years is around the average lifespan for an American alligator. Now there's other factors that determine their age as well. Their environment, how much food they're getting. Genetics play a role, just like it does in us. And of course, male versus female. So as you can see, as an example, I got all males right here in front of me. But right over there, sitting on over there by the bank, just move your head, that is one of our females. Now, with those individuals that I saw right over there, as they head back on the bridge here with these animals, you may think that they're just being lazy right now. But actually, these animals are doing what they would do in the wild. This is not lazy, this is just energy efficient. That's because these animals, they're cold-blooded, or ectothermic is another term for it, so they can't regulate their body temperature like we can. They have to get it from outside sources, such as the sun, and that's exactly what they're doing. We've had some colder days, so right now, they're sitting there absorbing up all that sun. And they can do that with the help of all their skin color that they have right here. A lot of people think that the alligator, oh, it's green like you see in the cartoons. That's actually not the case at all. And you can see with it, they're more of a charcoal, kind of brownish, dark in color, and that's because that is better for absorbing up the sun. What's also good at absorbing the sun is those bony plates that you see along their backs right up there on our friend Flounder who's basking right there. Those are called osteoderms. Just literally translates to bone skin, and not only does it serve as a good sense of protection, but it's chock full of blood vessels, so it helps warm up from the sun and, you know, bring warm blood all throughout the body. Now, also these animals over here, like our individual hunter, see if he comes over. He is not, but that's okay. Now these animals you may see on land, well, I want to take a look at their bodies for a second. Look at that head, look at those tiny little legs. Now you're wondering probably as well as I was talking about how since these animals are captive individuals, they must, you know, this must be a pretty dangerous situation. Believe it or not, on land we have nothing really to worry about with these animals. Even the ones that are walking right over there, those legs can have them and propel them on land. However, those tiny little legs, that big tail that weighs as much as a refrigerator, the heads on some of these large individuals are going to weigh around 100 pounds. It's all going to slow them down on land. You may hear that alligators can run very, very fast on land for long periods of time, but you think Lauren would go ahead and let the new guy go walk around in here if that were the case? No. Believe it or not, you can actually outrun an alligator on land. It's really just because, again, 100-pound head, tail that weighs as much as a refrigerator, and then those tiny little kind of stumpy legs don't really make them that fast on land. You don't have to worry about that zigzag technique that you may have heard about. It's not really going to work at all. You're just going to look pretty silly. However, everything that makes them slower on land makes them all the more fast in the water. These animals are built for the water. So that powerful tail that weighs 200 pounds is going to be able to push them through the water at pretty incredible speed. So you can outrun an alligator on land, but you can definitely not outswim one. Now, that makes because these animals are ambush predators. So, for the most part, these animals, again, they have eyes on top of their head that you can see right there. Right behind them is their ears, their nostrils. Hunter here is actually our second largest alligator in the exhibit. You would not be able to tell because all you can see right now, again, are his eyes, ears, and his nose. Or even our largest one, Bomber, right over there. And again, this is all because they are built as ambush predators. They also have great senses. They have little, what seems like little freckles. If you look at the jaws of some of our alligators, over here you can see the freckling on their lower jaws. That organ is called ISOs. What ISOs do is they help pick up vibrations in the water. So, if I were to head and go and toss a pellet, with one of these pellets, tossing it right there, these animals, well, not very hungry. But I'll see if I toss one over at a Bomber right over here. There we go. They can pick up those vibrations really well. They sense it. Boom, they can catch something very, very easily. Now, obviously, if you're going to go ahead and catch your prey, you're going to need an arsenal to put to go with that. And that's where those nice, big, beautiful smiles come in. So, with the teeth of some of these animals right over here, like our friend Casey. No, she missed that one right there. But those teeth are able to puncture, pierce, and hold onto prey. These animals have 70 to 80 conical-shaped teeth, and that helps them hold on to any animal that they're going to grab. Now, alligators don't have to worry about dental bills. That's because, like our friend Crazy right here, these animals go through 2,000 teeth in their lifetime. So they're constantly running through, and if you think about it, they live as long as us, so that's a lot of teeth. Now, in this exhibit, like I said, are all just American alligators. However, there are more than just alligators. There are many different species of crocodilians, and a lot of common questions we get are, how do you tell an alligator versus a crocodile? Well, there's a few reasons, but the easiest one, you're going to want to look at the snout. So in alligators, like our friend Casey right here, if you look, they got that nice, broad, rounded snout. However, crocodiles, that snout's going to come more to a nice, narrow V. Now, with alligators, though, there are two species. Here, this is easy to remember. These are all American alligators. So everybody hanging out over on land, everybody in here is all American alligators. The other alligator is going to be the Chinese alligator. Now, the biggest difference between them, for one, is going to be size. So the American alligator for males average around 12 feet long. Now for the Chinese alligator, it's only going to be around 5 to 6 feet long. Now, the other thing as well is going to be how well they're doing in the wild. So American alligators are actually doing really well. So in the state of Florida, there are 1.3 million American alligators alone. However, that is great news because in the 1950s, these animals were actually put on the endangered species list. Now, with the Chinese alligator, there's only around 100 to 200 individuals left in the wild. Organizations such as ourselves are working with that critically endangered species, and you folks are actually helping us with our mission statement by filling that just by purchasing a ticket here. So thank you all so much for helping us with that. Now, as well, Now, like I said, many species of crocodilians. Here at our facility, you can see 24 different species of crocodilian, one of the largest collections in the world. So, walk through our land of crocodiles, see if you can tell the difference between alligators as well as crocodiles. And the last fact that I have here is these animals' bite force. So, alligators actually have the largest bite force in the animal kingdom, with 2,000 pounds square inch of bite force. That's the equivalent of a small truck coming right on down. So obviously getting these pellets might be a little bit of an overkill, but they definitely need it when catching those larger prey items. Now folks, that was my last fact that I have, and that comes to the end of our realm of the alligator show. Our next show though is going to be our